the cookie cutter roles that we're expecting out of like a team member, like a manager or booking agent or, you know, X, Y, or Z, that's like very dated terms to me. You know what I mean? Like nowadays we have so much at our fingertips in terms of communication, technology, access to things, where it's like, I feel like an artist is actually, I'm sorry to say it, but it's like kind of lazy if you're waiting for someone else to do this work for you.
They call me Big Dog, I handle biz like a big shot. My drip and my whip is like NASCAR, but I don't ever take a pit stop, boy, I been hard, yeah. I cannot help being popular, I had that problem since I was a kid. Now introducing the face of the city, a lot of y'all mad that it's looking like this. Guapo. Dallas, she went crazy on this one. 50,000 off a Class D. When I was 17, I really felt like a child. If this your first time seeing me, then get used to it. People say that I'm selling out. Keep the shows, I ain't new to it. 20 bands off a single song. Admittedly, I fucking blew through it. Finna make it, then it can't be long. I was Cali dreaming, so I moved to it. I be drinking, thinking I should get engaged while I'm digging in my baby's wedding cake. This rapping shit is just a piece of lot of rappers acting insecure like an Easter egg. Cameras rolling on them either way. Couple quarters, what the meter say. Y'all bitches really make me laugh. When you hit the stage, you feel like Tina Fey. SNL, say you lit, but boy, we couldn't tell. Every time I see you take an L, I be thinking to myself like LOL. Let me switch it up and give them something different. Mr. Polly Rabbit's getting reinvented. Rockin' Murphy's mullet, boy, it's been a minute. We could pull up on them with the windows tinted. Couldn't tell the difference. Woo. Yeah, I seen no said it was a lot of crickets. I heard my enemies falling off. I came back home cause I couldn't miss it. Yeah. Titties flashing like I'm taking pictures. My granddad was just like Mr. Bitches. My family say that I'm a spitting image. Guapo. Absolutely.
Damn, Chase.
I love that shit.
Good
man.
looks, man.
That was hard. A song called Guapo by our whitest guest by far.
My roommate Colombian, man, he put me on. You feel me?
I know, bro, but that was swaggy. I fucked with that heavy. You got the nasty fly. I was listening to you earlier. I've heard of you before, but I was like, let me
Yeah, you just dropped something today, right? That song is way different.
Yes, sir. Shades on. Yeah, way more pop. You feel me?
Right.
I've had it in the tuck for a while, but I mean, summer's here. You know what I mean? And that's what we're here for. So
right.
Yeah.
No, I love that shit. Yeah, we met at the studio the other day for the first time. Cooked that up.
Okay, you guys.
2 days ago, man.
Yeah.
Turnaround time, crazy.
Yeah, you know, and I found out that Chase is from my hometown of Brookline.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Can't believe it.
Surrounded by you people.
Can't believe it. Yeah, you're the only person from Boston proper in here.
Yeah, bro. Really proper. You know what I'm saying?
Which I feel like we were talking about this.
Kind of Boston,
thank you.
it is kind of Boston. It's like you literally. Like there, if you go on South Huntington Ave, it's like right there. You take the wrong turn. Oh, I'm in Brookline.
If you look at a map, it's like a piece of pie cut out.
Yeah, I kind of thought. I always thought it was kind of like Alston, but because technically that's Boston.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's close enough on every
You
side.
guys
Bro.
should
It's
be
like,
accepting this. Don't be nodding no. Okay, Boston is a lot cooler.
Chase, I feel like you should be the next industry plant.
Yeah,
I would love to be, man.
You have industry plant face,
Right,
you know
dude?
what I mean?
Really, I get that a lot, man.
Yeah.
No,
I
no, you're
appreciate
gonna
it.
get it, bro. Even if you're not, people are gonna be like, nah, he just came out of nowhere. Even though you've been dropping
I'm
songs.
happy to hear that. Again, I was telling you earlier, but I'm self-managed. I'm my own agent. You feel me? Like everything past the point of creation, because I got to give a lot of props to my producers and engineers, shit like that. Dale, Frio. But
As far as your career goes,
yeah, as far as like business side of stuff, I handle that all myself. So if anyone's thinking I'm an industry plant, I'm like, oh damn, like I'm killing it.
I don't
feel
think
me?
you are, but I feel like
No.
you got the makings. You got what it takes.
I'm happy
You
to hear
got
it,
what
bro.
it takes to be
Yeah,
an
it
industry
takes, kid.
plant.
Yeah.
That's what every kid is dreaming of nowadays, right? Yeah.
What is that? What are the characteristics that made you think, boom, industry plant?
I don't know, man. It's just like an it factor. You know, I could see some investors getting behind him and putting big money down, get him on all the streams, all that shit. You know, like a little Mabu story.
Little Mabu?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what happened to him?
Damn, I hate that. I'm not gonna hold you. I gotta interject. I hate to talk about other artists in a negative light, but I hate that. I really do.
Yeah, he does not. He was
Not that you are,
Yeah.
but like, you know, that same type of push.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Where
Well,
suddenly.
what about Ice Spice? Is that better?
I would actually rather be compared to Ice Spice than Lil Mabu, truthfully. You know
I didn't mean it that way, bro. I wasn't comparing you to Lil Mabu.
He's jealous of you, bro.
But
he wants to be an industry plant too.
Yeah.
No.
You can't work it out.
No. I'm too old for that, bro. That wouldn't work. That wouldn't, plant wouldn't grow.
Plant wouldn't grow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Plant wouldn't grow.
The plant wouldn't grow.
I actually disagree with the term industry plant a little bit because I think that it implies that the person, you know, doesn't deserve it or didn't earn it in any way. And that's probably true in some nepotism sort of cases, you know, where it's like somebody's son or some shit like that. But I think most of the time when like somebody talks about an industry plant, it's just somebody that had a lot of talent and maybe was generating some buzz and somebody with some money recognized it.
Yeah.
And said, yo, I'm going to pour gas on this flame. And then now they're everywhere.
Yeah, I understand the term by definition. I think in the way it's used nowadays and thrown around is totally, it's a little too free. You feel me? I've heard that used about people that I know personally that have blown up and absolutely, you know, made a killing and it's out of nowhere to everyone else. But I'm like, dude, I actually saw the before. So the after is not as surprising. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Especially as someone who believes in it. You
were telling me earlier how like you had in your younger years, because like, you're young, but you've been at it for a long time, like since high school age, 100%. Right? So like, and you were telling me how you had a lot of people that were like managing you or promoting you or whatever. Is that why you do it yourself now? Because you got tired of people screwing around or some shit like that?
I wouldn't say so. I just think the cookie cutter roles that we're expecting out of like a team member, like a manager or booking agent or, you know, X, Y, or Z, that's like very dated terms to me. You know what I mean? Like nowadays we have so much at our fingertips in terms of communication, technology, access to things, where it's like, I feel like an artist is actually, I'm sorry to say it, but it's like kind of lazy if you're waiting for someone else to do this work for you. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm opposed to ever having a manager, ever having a booking agent. I'm looking for those people. But until then, you feel me? There's a lot of work to be done that I'm not just going to wait on. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm down to do that. You feel me?
Especially on the build-up, it's like, what are they managing, bro? There's not much.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's like,
Like, what, do you need a manager to book the jungle? Like, you don't, bro.
I heard Latrell say a great thing on y'all podcast, you know, however many weeks ago, but it's like, yo, I make enough money to support me right now. A manager coming in at 10, 20% is like, yo, that's not, the business isn't big enough for that many heads to be doing all these roles, especially when the workload isn't even that demanding right now. You feel me? I'm not at the level where it's like, yo, emails are coming in all the time. Yo, I can handle the amount of emails right now. You feel me? And I'm doing that. You feel me?
Right.
So it's like, you know.
Yeah, I think you're going to run into a hunger issue too if you get a manager too soon because they're not getting paid. And like, you're going to be hungry all day for your own shit, but like, they're only going to be hungry for so long.
Yeah. And I've had, and all that to say, like, I've worked with people in the past that have had nothing but my best interest in heart.
Sure.
And I have nothing bad to say about them. You feel me? But in a long-term scenario, I'm like, yo, this grind is not going to be, like, as much as I love to be the industry plant, you know, overnight success, yo, this actually isn't going to happen like in the next 9 months or 12 months. This is going to be a few years of a buildup. You feel me? And I don't want to have someone, you know, sticking around with just waiting with their, you know, their hands in their pockets, where it's like, yo, I can actually handle what I'm doing right now. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And come time, I know there are some people with, again, best interest at heart, I have a personal relationship with that I would love to pick up the phone and call and be like, yo, now's the time where this makes sense to get you involved. So
do you put like a structure on it? Because I struggle with that type of shit, like getting too caught up with non-music stuff and then feeling like I didn't pay enough attention to or spend enough time making music.
Yeah, I would say, and unfortunately, this is like, you know, almost kind of saddens me to say, I feel like my creative peers, you know, the people, you know, on the music side of what I do, you know, not the business, have pointed that out to me more, where that's where I notice it. And I'm like, damn, you know, I have my...
Pointed what out?
Like how much time I spend on business stuff, you feel me? Where it's like my producer, Frio, from Iceland, you know, he's my engineer, produces 50% or more of my catalog for the last 6 years. We were living together in LA in 2022, and he made this comment one time when I was in the process of, I just got off tour and I was super hungry for more shows and like, yo, I got to keep this ball rolling. And he had just come from Iceland on a 90-day visa, no fiance shit, but just the ESTA, you know what I mean? And he was there, and we were supposed to be in the studio all the time. And some days I'm like, yo, I gotta lock in and do these emails real quick, or I gotta send off these show, you know, inquiries. And he said, just, you know, kind of admittedly, not in any way towards me, but he was like, damn, I can't wait until the day where we're so up, where you can actually just spend, you know, 100% of your time in the studio. And I was just like, oh, damn. Like, yeah, like as an engineer and producer, your job never exceeds, you know, or goes outside of the studio. You feel me? For him right now. Not that that's all engineers and producers, but I'm just saying from his place, he's like, yo, the creative stuff in making music is what I'm here for. And that's what he wants his full-time job to be.
Right.
I'm so passionate about booking shows and doing managerial stuff and making these connections happen. I actually get a thrill out of that. It satisfies me in a way too, where I'm like, damn, I actually don't spend 100% of my time on just music. I spend, you know, 100% of my time on being an artist, where that's, you know, a clear difference, you know, when I'm in a situation like that.
Right, because you're looking at that business side as part of being an artist.
Yeah, and again, I enjoy that too. You know what I mean? Which is almost unfortunate sometimes. In other ways, it's been a huge strength for me.
It's fortunate, dude.
Yeah.
Because like the people that are just studio rats, it's hard for them to break out.
They never even drop their music.
Yeah.
Wait, so you got a producer named Frio from Iceland? Like that's a dope name, by the way. We didn't comment on that. How did you meet that guy?
So hilariously, I dropped a single my senior year. It was like my single off my upcoming EP. You feel me? And SoundCloud was like the hot shit at the time. I'm not even looking at Spotify. I think it dropped on Spotify. That was like my first song on Spotify. You know, 2017, my senior year of high school is when I made that transition to DSPs. But DSPs weren't like the place to look at it. It was still Spotify. It was like the main streaming platform. And their algorithm was hitting, man. The next thing after my single that week that would play algorithmically was Frio's beat, which ended up being a song called Dope Dealer of Mine. But I would hear it after every time I listened to my own music, which admittedly, I listen to my own music a lot, you feel me? Yeah. But after listening to my new single I'm so excited about, I would hear his beat and I was like, damn, these actually fit so well together. Like I would want to rap on this. So I hit him up. I said, yo, I love your beats. Like I love the work, but I'm someone who's so spontaneous that like even before him responding, I'm pulling an all-nighter that night, like working on that beat, you know what I mean? Even though he put it out and he might not have wanted to sell it to an artist or put it out like that. And then in the morning, you know, he's like, oh yeah, like I love the work. I'm like, well, that's great because I already stole your beat. I'll SoundCloud MP3. Like, here's the song. And although he admitted later, he was like a little bit like, but you can't just do that. Yeah. I did do that. And he was like, honestly, the song was fire. So that sparked our relationship. And since then we've been like super tight. And yeah, his name is Frio, although from Iceland. He spells it with an apostrophe over the I and O, which in Icelandic spelling creates the same, you know, phonetics as Frio.
Okay.
But they got like 32 vowels or some crazy shit.
Like
that.
Out there, bro.
Yeah, their language is nuts, dude.
They ain't got shit.
Yeah.
It's the island.
But when I'm in Iceland, they do call me Big Hundur. All right.
Big Hundur?
Yeah, big dog. You know what I mean?
You look Norse.
Yeah, I'm half Swedish. So when I'm out there, everyone assumes I'm speaking Icelandic and shit. And
you could be like if Thor had a son and he was a rapper.
Yeah. I should see. Right? That's why I should have saved my long hair for something like this. Then it would have fit the part better.
Definitely had a Thor.
Wait, you had long hair?
Dude, I had long hair for 8 years. Like I'm talking like full, you know, man. But shit was down to here at some points. Like I'm just getting used to short hair. I was telling him earlier, I got a haircut on the way here, butchered my shit, but I'm just getting my toes into the game again. That's where I fucked up, bro. That's where I fucked up.
See, guys, trusting my people, bro. We got a few things: baseball, food, and haircuts. Dog.
No, I feel you.
Come on, look out.
I could tell by the looks when she came around the corner. I was like, I'm about to get fucked up. And then by the time I left, I was like, sure enough, I got fucked up. She's like, yeah, with a hat, that'll look great. I was like, that's the problem. Hat? You feel me? That's the problem, lady.
The hat.
Yeah.
That's a horrible.
I know that comment was crazy. I was like, it's over.
Yo, when did you? So you moved to LA, right?
Yeah, in 2019, originally in November.
Okay. So before that, were you doing like any local shows here?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because bro, I kind of recognize you too.
Yeah, no. I appreciate it.
Just tell me about it.
Yeah, I was telling him. Yeah. I graduated high school in 2017. Up to that point, the only headliner stuff I'd done was like my own DIY basement shows. You know, I had a hilarious, like a pay-to-play opening act for Playboy Cardi. Hilariously genre-wise, does not make any sense. But I was doing that like my junior year of high school in like December. And by the time I graduated, I'd opened at some bigger venues like Bright Music Hall, Middle East Downstairs as well, like a sold-out show. Both sold-out shows. Like I was performing in front of big crowds, regardless of whether or not my experience actually, you know, made the best of the opportunities. I was in front of those crowds. And then when I graduated, I was trying to do my own, you know, I'm like, all right, word. Now it's up to me to like, you know, put on this stuff. And I had done what's it called? Berkeley Red Room. I did that with a artist named Marquise Filthy, if you guys have heard of him. Sonia's on St. Patty's Day. Not the best turnout in 2018. And then I dropped a song called No Mo that like had really exploded online. That by the end of the summer in August 2018, I sold out Middle East Upstairs, and that kind of put me on the trajectory of the following shows of Sinclair and Bright Music Hall and stuff like that.
Real quick, at Sonia's, was there at one point this rapper who was talking about slitting his wrists during the show?
Not on my show.
Okay.
No. I curate all my own lineups, so that's one thing I pride myself on, is we don't have that at Golden Boy shows, you feel me?
Oh my God, it got rough.
That was a show you were at?
Yeah, I went to a show. Bro, it was
Sorry to hear that.
You said he was gonna cut his wrist?
No, that's what the songs were sort of about. You know what I mean? He was mad sad boy about it.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like, damn, he might actually do it, sad boy. You know what I mean?
Oh, damn.
Yeah. But like, so it was like mad amped. The last guy was trying to fucking crowd surf. There was not enough people to crowd surf, guy. You know what I mean? I feel like you need like some congestion up front to do that.
Yeah.
And then that guy came on, brought the energy way down. And then another hype guy came up, and then they're like, you know what we need now? An acoustic guitar lady who got no energy. It was the worst lineup of all time. Yeah, shout out to Sonia's though. So like,
my least favorite thing is poorly curated shows, man. I'm like, damn, that makes all the difference to me personally. Like, that's why all my shows, dude, I'll throw money on the venue. I'll go above and beyond it. I'm designing the flyers. I'm hiring out everybody. Like, I feel like as an artist, like even if I'm headlining it, and a lot of artists don't care about whatever the openers are doing. It's just like, yo, I'm pulling up for me. Yo, I'm thinking from a fan experience. If I'm pulling up to a show and I'm not enjoying the first 90 minutes of it, I'm not remembering that show fondly, regardless of how the headliner performs or if I came from my boy or whatever it is. So any show of mine is always with people that I actually respect, and not even just respect as friends, but I mean musical peers, like people I enjoy the music of. Because I would never want to put my fan base through something that I don't believe in.
It's the worst, dude. No. Like you're talking about that pay to play shit. You know, we talk about that all the time, man. How dumb it is.
It's rough, dude.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
You know, you just got whoever paid, made all their friends buy a ticket.
Yeah.
They show up for their set, and then they bounce. And then eventually at 1:45 a.m., the headliner comes on, does a couple of songs.
I've been to shows like that, specifically at Sonia's in Middle East, where it's like, holy shit, bro. And you could tell because this guy's parents are in the crowd. Shout out to them. But then they leave after, and you're like, dude, that was like half the people, dog.
It's dumb.
I don't understand, man. And you know what is weird to me is I feel like, especially in Boston, like a lot of those people who will take those opportunities or do opening acts, like they'll draw, let's say 30, 40, 50, 60 people. And to them, it's like, oh, but the venue is, 200 cap or 300 cap, so I can't headline it. But I'm like, yo, those shows end up terrible. And it's like, if you actually just headlined it and pulled a third of the weight and got a few of your homies who pulled a similar, size crowd,
right,
you'd have a fire show and have a very similar size turnout and, ticket sales. It's like, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people really understand or recognize the weight they pull, where it's like, yo, you have a pay-to-play artist leaving with half the crowd. Yeah. What the hell did they pay for?
Shout out to Shay 617. I've seen him do it. He literally pulled up, and then when he left, like he brought like 10 motherfuckers, and they all left like 15. I think.
Yeah.
Bro, what the fuck?
No, I feel you.
So what's the gems, dude? It sounds like you had a lot of success like early in your career with putting on shows and getting shows and shit like that. So for an artist at that level, what would you say you should do?
You know what's funny? I think this started out very narcissistically. Like in post Kanye doc in 2022, more people probably relate to this. But coming up, I was like, yo, we got to film everything. You're like, we got to film every show because like the next show is going to be even bigger and even bigger. Kind of following like the Stiz trajectory I was telling you about. Like it's Middle East Upstairs. Then you do, what do you do next? It was like Brighton and then Paradise and House of Blues. I'm like, yo, we going to do this step by step. We got to film it and then be afterwards like, yo, this is what we did. So I was filming everything from the start, like, and getting, I didn't make profit on most of these shows because I'm paying out, 2 professional videographers and a nice photographer and all this stuff. So I feel like that's a huge gem of mine is like, yo, reinvest into this. So the next time you're reaching out to the bigger venue, you have proof of this because so many people, and I've experienced this when I'm looking for openers, people say they can do this much and then come time, they can't do that much. They do this much, you feel me? So it's like venues have gone through that a million times. Bookers have gone through that a million times. But if you have actual like proof of concept and evidence to like, yo, this is what we did at this show, and here's the recap video of it, or here's photos from it. I can link you you know, the Instagram post that I posted after, and you can see that there's 100 people in that crowd, or 200 people in that crowd, 300 people in that crowd. Now you're not just going off the word of someone. You know, look, the numbers are such a mirage nowadays of monthly listeners and followers and stuff. That doesn't translate to hard tickets. Promoters and venues don't care about that. They care about sales. You know what I mean? That's the business they're in. So I would say document your wins. And even when you don't feel like it's a win and it's only 50 people, well, when you're opening for someone, like that 50 is a big number. You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like documenting it was a thing I was really early on. And now I see like someone, what's his name? La Russell, if you're hip to this artist.
Yep.
Like my big come up in 2019 I was telling you about was like the Junkyard Jam. I threw a show in my backyard. I was a carpenter at the time. I built a multi-level stage in my backyard, you know, over a pickup truck, and it was invite only. We had a keg in the back. You know, I lived on BU's campus, and, you know, we were grilling burgers and hot dogs and selling them and stuff. It was like super DIY, and that filming that and sending that to Bright Music Hall that was down the street from me at the time, that's what got me into that opportunity. You know what I mean? And just like documenting this stuff and actually, you know, not just relying off of, you know, the faith of a booker, I feel like is a big gem. You know what I mean?
I like the DIY show too. Putting your own shit on like that. That's a new thing. I think it's the All-American Rejects right now are doing a tour.
Yeah. Hilariously, Russell Ben did that. And even
the backyard shit? Yeah,
even my tour in 2022 was the Junkyard Jam tour. You know, I pulled up in New Orleans. You know, I paid a frat at Loyola or Tulane or something like that. They had a wooden stage that they brought over to a house that I knew someone who lived at. You know, they set it up. I paid them 200 bills just to bring their stage over. And I performed on that stage. I mean, in Nashville the next week, you know, literally the next weekend, I performed on a flatbed, you know, trailer from some kid who had a farm out there that you know, was a mutual friend. And he went to his parents' farm, pulled up a flatbed. We had a drummer and guitarist and keyboardist, like, and I'm not even saying that to be like, oh, that's been a thing. I actually love to see that, because especially post-COVID, we like yearn for these kind of experiences. You know what I mean? And growing up, I've been to a million Bright Music Hall shows, seeing artists I really love and respect. But that memory kind of blurs together after a while, where I've been to the same venue and experienced a very similar setting so many times, where if you do something unique and like one of one like that, I feel like the fan experience and the conversion rate of being that, you know, going from just a concert goer to a real fan and maybe a customer of your merch or your music, like the chances increase immensely. You know what I mean?
Do you have merch?
Yeah, I'm see that he didn't even know that. I'm gonna plug it now. Yeah, I'm rocking Golden Boy merch right now, baby.
Golden Boy.
Yeah. That's my brand. I have a little other ones that are more flashier. I gotta let the code speak for itself today. But
you need one that just says Industry Plant.
Industry Plant. Yeah. Sure enough,
just
man.
lean into it, bro. Golden Boy.
Let me finish this pop summer I'm on, and then I got you. Yeah.
Oscar De La Hoya never sued you for that shit?
For what? Golden Boy? Oh, yeah. Isn't it Golden Boy Gloves?
Golden Boy Promotions.
Interesting. Yeah. Looking at all my LLC shit, I had to do my research on this, but no, I think I'm chilling. This is simply Boston's gold standard. You know what I mean? This has nothing to do with anything else.
So when we were recording the other day, you have like a very unique workflow, I think, especially in rap.
I was low-key meeting you in the middle, so I'm curious to see what you say.
So like, you know, basically the way that the process I saw, at least, I don't know if it's your standard, but the process I saw was like he would do like the different stretches of the verse and shit and punch in, or not punch in, sorry, but just like do a take, and then we'd go through and comp it. So like something that's very common in like pop music and shit like that. But we would comp in like even down to the word. So like that song you heard was all comped together, the whole shit.
Syllables even.
Yeah. There was even a couple words that we split in half.
Yeah.
You know? And you know, so many of the people that I work with nowadays are punching in and shit and like don't give a fuck about the small details like that. You know, as long as they like don't mumble it too much, they're like, you know, next line. And you know, so I thought that was interesting, dude, because I would debate like, is it worth it? But it came out good.
Yeah.
You know, and it's on wax, so you got to be really comfortable with it. So I appreciate
100%.
You know, I can catch myself in perfectionism a lot too, and every little detail and shit like that. But it's always a balance, right? Of like not spending too much time for no extra gain.
Yeah.
Have you always done it that way?
I would say so. When I was a kid, I was recording myself. You know, I've been recording my own music actively like, you know, recording my own music on GarageBand since I was 11, 12 years old. And then in high school, I was the kid in high school as a freshman that like had this studio equipment. I spent my first $1,000 after an internship at the teen center, you know, my local teen center.
Nice.
And got all my equipment. So there were seniors at the high school coming up to record it, you know, me as a freshman's crib, because I was like the guy who knew how to engineer now. Although obviously I aspired to be the guy on the mic and be the rapper. You know, that was kind of like my in. And then, you know, coaching so many artists like through their takes and stuff like that, I very much learned like when I'm writing things, it is concretely the way it is in my head. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And to convey that or translate that onto wax is not always as easy as just like, all right, run it. You know what I mean? And rap it. I know what it is. So if I can, and I'm afforded that luxury in my own personal time, you know, when I'm recording at my crib, you know what I mean? To go over every single word and get that exactly the way I want it. When I'm in a studio session with you, for example, like I'm meeting him for the first time on Monday, I'm like, yo, I actually, in my heart, I'm like, yo, I could set up my own laptop right now and probably do this in a way that I'm more comfortable with. But in a lot of settings where it's with a producer, I'm like, yo, it's not as exciting for them. It doesn't make it as, you know, inclusive, where it's like, all right, you make the beat and I'm chilling over here. And then we swap, and then I'm recording for like 2 hours. Now you're just kind of sitting there like, all right, word, you feel me?
Yeah.
But that is the usual way I work. I mean, even with Freo, my engineer, I'm my recording engineer. He's my mix engineer.
Interesting.
But yeah,
Do you record with him in the room, or you just go off by yourself?
Yeah, I'm not embarrassed to record in front of people.
No, I wasn't
like,
sure if like
yeah. I mean, some people aren't comfortable with that. You know what I mean? And on Monday, you know what I mean, we got you in the room I'm meeting for the first time. Yep. And C4, who I know is a real rapper, you feel me? So I'm like, yo, I gotta still show out, you know, I gotta do my thing. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, yo, I want my studio records to be the best they can be, you feel me? And I think, you know, as a performer, and someone I mentioned earlier, you know, I did Sonya's March 2018. There wasn't a lot of heads there, you feel me? I dropped some fire studio records, you know what I mean? That had a bunch of comps, and I got, you know, nailed to the T. And by August, you know, I sold out the Millie's upstairs at 200 people. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's the best marketing. To have good music, shit that's on wax that people can play in their free time and as many times as they want for decades to come. That's what's going to make you last. You know what I mean? So I don't really care about being in the studio and, oh, I got to nail it one try, or, oh, we going to hit it. And yeah, that's cool. You feel me? That's cool with me. No, like I want the best record. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what we're in the business of. So
nah, I think it's cool, man. You know, it takes a lot of time. It's and attention. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you do it yourself too, I think, is a good way to do it, because then you probably don't feel like, you know, you're burdening somebody.
And obviously that's a real thing. You feel me? Because I don't want to slow up a session or like ruin the chemistry in the room.
Right.
But it's like at the end of the day, like, you know, by the end of our session, I was like, word, give me the stems, I'll do the rest of my crib.
I did like that. Yeah. You're like, give me the stems, I'm gonna melodyne this shit.
Yeah.
You know, and send them back.
How do you do collaborations then? Like, as far as like a different artist goes, they just send you something, or you send them after, or how does that work?
Bro, I'm be so for real. I don't even collaborate that much. And that's not even like a thing on me where I'm like, yo, I don't want to collaborate a lot. It just don't happen that often. And when it does, like, yo, I've already done all this legwork we're talking about, where it's like, okay, word, I went through all of these steps. You know, I'm talking recording, comping, melodyne, auto-tune automation, and mix, you know what I mean, with Freo. And now it's like, okay, this open verse is what I want to send to someone. So they're hearing a much more finished product that's more exciting to get on than a rough demo where I'm like, oh, but, you know, it's not mixed. Or, oh, but I'm going to do all of these things to it.
Or like live in the studio.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You don't usually do that? Like actually work with somebody in the studio?
Candidly, I haven't done that in a very long time. And I think the only person I've done that with in recent memory was G.O.D. I was telling you about this with Poison. But he's a punching artist. So he just pulls up. He ain't got shit to say. But he's like, yo,
he's the opposite of your approach.
Yeah, absolute opposite. Yeah. Like total end of the spectrum. Right. He's like, yo, turn on the mic. I'm gonna say this line and that line, and then we gonna cut it. I might go back, say the second one, and now I'm doing lines 2 and 3, and then we're doing 3 and 4, and then, you know, 4 and 5. And that's the way he goes about it. You know, he laid Poison, our song, like, which I think, yo, he knocked out of the park. That shit's a hit to me. That was like my favorite song out of the city. The year we dropped it was at 2023 or something like that. And not for my own part of it. I just mean, I love G.O.D's music. You know, but I watched him cut that in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Where opposed to me, I'm like, yo, after he left, I was like, ain't no fucking way he just punched that whole shit in. Like, I'm writing 2 verses that night because I'm like, nah, like, almost like philosophically, like, I have a point to prove now as someone who's like, I'm a writer, you know what I mean? Where I'm like, nah, like, I gotta hit this crazy. But yeah, collaboration is tough for me in person. I don't do a lot of it, but sending back and forth is like, yo, once I can, you know, do this on my own time, I'll send it out and it's Gucci. So
is it because you don't want to subject somebody to your workflow, or it's just not something you're really into doing?
No, I feel like part of, you know, number one is like, yo, I work very slow.
I mean, not even that slow, dude. You know, especially if you were to do the comping after the fact,
yeah,
then it's not really slow at all. Because you weren't struggling to do the takes.
No, but I work on Logic, you feel me?
Yeah.
And you being in Reaper,
right?
Am I gonna ask you to bounce out 8 stems of each section? You feel me? That's a little crazy. You feel me?
Wouldn't be a huge deal. But
when I'm working with Frio, my producer, we're just swapping files over, so it's easy. You know what I mean? We just like, oh, word, I'm bouncing the file. You know, I'm sending you the file on WeTransfer.
Yeah.
You download it and you're doing your thing.
Yeah.
But when I'm working with other people, collaborators who might be in Ableton, Pro Tools, you know, Reaper, I don't even know what the fuck that is, but that's what
nobody knows.
That's what Dallas uses, I guess.
Dallas and like 5 other dudes.
Yeah, in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, yo, in that situation, I'm like, yo, I can't get this file. Like, I gotta be on your shoulder, kind of just being like, yo, this is what I would do if I knew how to even use this right now. So
yeah, no, I dug it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I hadn't really done that a lot before.
Mm.
You know, usually it's, if anything, I'm comping lines together, not words. You know.
No, I feel you.
And the results dope.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm proud of it. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
No, that Guapo song, that shit was hard. When you dropping it?
Are we dropping that? I thought that was just for
I mean, it's basically out right now.
Yeah, fuck it. Well, hey, go stream
episode.
it. Yeah, rewind that shit, man. Fuck it.
Maybe I'll throw that on a compilation or something.
Okay.
You use the word smug a lot in the studio.
I did use that, yeah. That was more in the context of this record, but
yeah,
I'm a smug guy sometimes too.
Yeah, that's definitely part of your brand, I think.
Yeah.
Have you always been like that, or?
See, now I wish the word wasn't exactly smug. I would pick a different synonym, perhaps. But
it was a good adjective.
Yeah,
in the
studio, the context of the lines I was using.
Totally,
yeah,
dude.
But I don't know. I think I'm someone. I feel like my brand and my personality is very positive. You feel me? And my life outlook. I'm an optimist, like to the core. Like I'm always believing in the best outcome more than the worst. That's part of a survival technique that I grew up with. But as an artist, I feel like that's really played into, being able to do what I do. Like, you got to believe in this is going to work. You know what I mean? If you don't, like, you might as well hang it up right now. But in the context of smug, is like, sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm overly positive sometimes where, I don't always give myself my own flowers, and sometimes I don't get them from other people. So it's like, man, well, it smelled like fucking roses out here. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, like, sometimes I gotta be like, all right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let me talk my shit. So
why'd you say that optimism was a survival method growing up for you?
Because your dad was banned from every building or something?
Yeah, I mean, I lost my mom very early.
Oh,
you feel
that
me?
sucks.
Yeah, I know. He was like, he's making a joke. He's like, no, it's like, no, it's chill. But
no, that sucks.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
How old?
I was 8. So I mean, as you can imagine, as a kid growing up in Brookline too, like, shit was pretty peachy, you feel me? Where it's like, damn, when that happens, as a kid, as an 8-year-old, I'm like, yo, there must have been a mistake made, you feel me? Like, this can't really be what's going on, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. I think as a kid, where something so
traumatic.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and just so intense, like that affects every aspect of your life in a ripple effect.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, it's very easy to be pessimistic, you feel me? I wasn't the best in school. I lost a lot of contact with my maternal family after that. And, just everything, it was like a very domino effect type thing in my life. And up until the point I was probably even like, just turning 19, like I was still thinking about proving everyone wrong. You know what I mean? Like, and like I ate all that spitefully, where I was like, nah, like I'm gonna show everybody. Like, I didn't go to college. Everyone else going to out of state schools and all this shit. I'm around, like, bro, I don't really have it like that. Like, my dad homeless right now. You feel me? Like, I'm down and out, but it's like, I was so focused on proving everyone wrong, where it's like the hugest mind switch to me. And I'm not just going credit to a shroom trip, but I'm like, yo, I had a lot of like, times that shit low-key hit. And I'm like, damn, like to switch my mindset from like, yo, I want to prove everyone wrong to, I got about 6 core friends or, 10 people in my life that are like, nah, you could do this. Like you could actually, you're the next big thing. I listen to your music, you feel me? And nah, like you're making something that's of value, you feel me? And has incredible potential. Why the fuck am I thinking about all the people that are doubting me right now? Like I got 6 to 10 people in my ear being like, nah, you could do this. And once I switch my mindset to being like, no, I want to listen to these people. And like these people be at the front of my mind when I'm making decisions or making music or booking a show, is like, nah, I'm going to do this not to prove everyone wrong. I want to prove everyone right. You feel me? Even if that's a smaller amount of people. And I feel like that mindset shift when I was younger, like made all the difference. It makes music way more enjoyable. Yeah. Where it's like, yo, I'm not doing this angrily. I'm doing this really excitedly. You know what I mean?
I like
so
that.
Shout out to the Shrooms.
Yeah.
Another
no bullshit,
credit for
man.
a great person. Yo, because dog, that same thing that happened to you, I felt something similar once when I first did them. Like I let go of a lot of like resentment and like bullshit. Like, oh, why the fuck am I worried about what XYZ cares or what they said 10 years ago? What up? Fuck that. What the fuck is that? That's not important at all. And then you let shit go and you're able to think way more clearly after it's over. Like, and then I do recommend always reing up on a trip.
Yo, I'm not even gonna hold you. After that experience, I didn't even hit that again for like years and years and years. Cause the craziest thing to me is I feel like I'll give you the expedited version of it, but like, I was listening to an album that my friend who I was doing it with was like, yo, this is what we're gonna listen to, like at this, for this trip. And this shrooms didn't hit at the beginning, where I was taking it for granted, like, nah, man, like this album is not hitting. Like, this is the first time I'm doing anything, further than weed or anything. I was really like, okay, this is a big step for me, you feel me? And it wasn't hitting. I was like, man, like this ain't shit, dude. Like, no, this is whack. And over the course of a whole, adventure that night of craziness, I ended up getting back to the crib, I'm climbing the stairs, mad excited. I don't know what my kick was. I was gonna go listen to some Michael Jackson when I got to the top of, I'm on the top floor of this crib. And, we've been out and stuff, and I'm like, yo, like, I'm climbing the stairs being like, yo, I'm about to listen to PYT. And by the first, second, third floor, like, this just becomes an idea to me. This isn't even no longer a song. Like, this is just like, yo, at the top of the stairs is this magnificent, magical thing that I'm about to experience. And when I bust open the door, I hear the most beautiful music I've ever heard. And I just start bawling tears, like I'm crying down my face. And I realized that it was the album that at the beginning of the night, while sober, I was like, man, this ain't shit. You feel me? Like I'm taking it for granted. Hilariously, after the fact, it didn't even end up being the album. You know what I mean? But
Wait, it wasn't the same album?
It ended up not being. But at the time, I was like, yo, I took
so it was some
what I was
shit.
taking for granted in my normal life at the time. Which again, I just got out of high school. I'm working construction. All my friends and peers, the girls I was chasing, they're off of college. I'm just like the white rapper at home, trying to be a rapper when he grows up. I mean, it's like, I'm not having the best time right now. You feel me? But it's like from there, I was like, damn, I just looked at life as such an opportunity afterwards, where I was like, damn, like the shit that I'm taking for granted in my everyday life, like, wow, how special is this shit? You feel me? Like I get to, go to work, make my money. I get to go to the studio with Robbie Rowland, crazy engineer at the time that I'm working with, and make music. And the stuff I was making during that time when I was feeling so low, like the following spring after that winter, like that changed my life. You know what I mean? I was doing all the venues I mentioned and streaming more than I'd ever streamed before, and people hitting me from all over the world being like, yo, I fuck with this song. And it's like, damn, like the kid who made it, I feel like wasn't even the same. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it took like a kind of big mindset shift for me to, again, I approach music very excitedly, you know what I mean? Where again, in an industry that's so harsh to artists and not conducive to being independent, like it's very easy to get spiteful and have a chip on your shoulder in this industry. And I feel like for me, it's like, damn, like I actually love this shit like so much. And I just listen to the right people in my ear.
You're cheering me up, dude, because I get pissed off sometimes.
I feel you. I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
negative Nancy.
I know this shit is fire. Like,
he doesn't eat enough mushrooms.
Yeah.
It's one of
I only eat little bits. bits.
Dude, I had like an eighth on Saturday. It was awesome.
Nice. Wow.
You know what's crazy is after that trip, like I felt that like, taken for granted, like, appreciate what you have type shit. I was so excited to talk about it after. My roommate at the time was way heavier into that type of shit, and all his peers were, tripping all the time and doing stronger drugs. And I was like, yo, like, what did y'all learn? Like from trip, like I just left with something crazy. Like I just had a whole like revolution. Like, what did y'all learn? And they just kind of laughed, like, bro, I've tripped like 10 times since that. You know, I've tripped like 20 times. Like, what do you mean? Like,
they should remember that.
I was so disappointed though, where I'm like, bro, like you didn't even get the value out of it.
No.
Like you just got the fun, but you didn't retain like
I was
a new lesson.
I was a vegetarian for like a year after a mushroom trip.
Okay.
So
Hell
real?
Yeah.
You?
Yeah. Which is crazy because I love steak, all that shit. You know?
I had a great
love
time.
meat
I
and
never touched shit again though, because I was like, yo, people like are abused in this. Where I'm like, yo, like I felt like I left with like a real mindset shift. Where I'm like, damn, like y'all forgot the sauce. Like you left that and forgot what the fuck you learned. Like that blew my fucking mind. Where I was like, no, like absolutely not. Like I wanna stay in this mindset that I'm in because it was so positive and so optimistic. And here I am now, like 7 years later, and I'm like, nah, like I feel that every day where I'm like, nah, this is a blessing. You feel me?
It's crazy how it can just switch you like that,
Yeah.
right?
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, the good and bad. That's why, you know, shout out to you for recognizing that you're like, yo, they didn't even appreciate it.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be doing mushrooms. Because I feel like anyone who doesn't have that feeling that you had, and I remember my first trip very vividly, you know what I'm saying, and what it did to my mindset. And I'm just like, y'all forgot?
Yeah.
Fucking drug addicts, dog. They're just fiends then, bro. That's what they are. That's crackhead shit. No offense to your friends. But like, it's like you said, they were doing stronger shit too. At that point, they're just chasing the dragon. Like, ooh, I like that feeling. And that's all they're trying to capture and not really learn from it. You know what I'm saying?
I liked it too, but I don't have an addictive personality like that where I'm just like, dog, like I got something great from it. That's what I got from it. You feel me? Like that's awesome. I mean, I don't need to do shit more, get into other shit. It's just like, nah, like that. I left the best version of myself that I could imagine. You mean? And I was like, that's what I want to stay. You feel me? So that's what it was.
So you're at like a good level right now as an artist. You've done, you know, the smaller venues and shit like that. You've had some songs that have popped and shit like that. What do you feel like you need to do next to get to the level that you really want to go to?
If I answered this question like a couple of years ago, like coming off my first or second tour, because I did a tour again in 2023 where I was doing more like, you know, straightforward venues opposed to the backyard stuff I was doing in, you know, the unique spaces. I was like, nah, let me go at like an actual venue. And I wanted to feel like a level up, you know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, now we doing shit official. And again, I'm doing that all myself where I'm the point person between 7 tour stops where it's openers at every stop. I'm, you know, the point of contact for every venue and every sound engineer in advance and every manager and every artist. And it was like a lot of work where I was like, yo, I can do this. It was sustainable, but it wasn't scalable. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's like almost like the ceiling I hit right now where I'm like, damn, like as a one-man show, and not just in terms of like the time or labor I can put into something, but also like my own knowledge. Like I feel like hit the next level. You feel me? I've been at the level I'm at for a little bit. And I definitely want to, you know, grow that. What I'm exactly missing, I feel like, you know, as the industry has developed around me, again, I got into this when I started recording music 11, 12 years old. My first show at Middle East Downstairs that I was performing at, I was 15, 16. So it's like things have rapidly changed and dramatically changed around me in terms of industry and how your blow up actually happens in 2025. And that comes to marketing and social media stuff where I might be a little less like, you know, ahead of the curve in terms of some of the show shit that I might feel like is my strength. That's probably my weakness that I would have to admit. You know what I mean?
Hey, there he is.
What's good,
there
Doc?
he is. Have a seat.
What's good? Nah, you chilling, bro.
This dude said he's gonna be here in 20 minutes, an hour and 45 minutes.
I have video footage of everything. Trust me. I got there's something happened on 93. I got stuck. I wasn't moving for like 40. I texted you. I was like, yo, haven't moved an inch. I didn't even move. Dude. I took a little shortcut. Nice. I went through, you know where the Star Road Drive little thing is? You know what I mean? Yeah. Where people get crammed up and people get pissed off by going there. Yeah. I took the other way. And I was like, oh, this saved me like 5 minutes. But yeah, I was still late for like 45 minutes, so it's okay. I was watching the podcast the whole time, so I was spiritually here. Yeah, shout out Shumis. I heard that part. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Go crazy. Go crazy.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Now continue though. I got y'all.
Yeah.
Fucking no, Chase, this is Alone. Alone, this is Chase.
Yeah.
You guys ever met? Never met before.
Never met before. Yeah. So you used to have long hair. I think, right?
Talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What's your regimen? Coconut oil?
Bro, I'm fine on my regimen right now, man. I was just telling him I got butchered on the way here. I was at a haircut. I was like, man, fuck. I was leaving that shit like fuck.
Oh, I thought it was like intentional. It was like a spiritual thing.
No, man. I'm getting used to short hair, having to get haircuts so often. And and just rocking that, man.
You didn't go to a Dominican, bro.
Right, yeah.
Bro, people always say long hair is mad work. I'm telling you, short hair is way more work to me.
Yeah, I mean to maintain it because you gotta get the lineups every. Yeah.
I feel like long hair is just like you cleaning your shit, you're chilling. You know what I mean?
Right. How long did you have long hair for?
Bro, 8 years.
Yeah, that's. I'm like almost 12 years in.
Wow.
Holy shit.
I'm like, it's like for me to cut the hair like that, it would be like a spiritual expedition. You know what I mean? I couldn't.
I feel that.
Yeah, I wouldn't go through
Absolutely.
it. But no, kudos to you, bro. It looks good. Yeah, fuck that barber guy. We'll find you a good one.
It was a lady, first of all, and she wasn't.
Oh, you went to salon cuts. What is
I didn't want to speak on it, man. No. I'm sick. You gonna hear my story on Yelp, not on this podcast,
hear
man.
My story?
Yeah. No bullshit.
You gotta be careful with letting a woman do a fade, bro.
Yeah.
What do you mean? No, I've seen some of the best
at a barbershop. At a barbershop, the shorties go crazy, but like the spa, not
hey, you go to like
salon?
a salon.
The problem was she was opinionated, but it wasn't up for debate. She was like, "Oh, what you're rocking right now, not my favorite. I'm gonna give you something else." I was like, "Oh, boom!" It was over. I was like, "Oh."
See, she had the confidence, but lack of skill. You can't. That's most people in the world. You got to go lack of confidence and then too much skill. Like people who are like, "Man, I don't know. I'll try." Nah, those. I don't even
cut hair, bro. I'm telling you, I seen her form. Not the best.
Not the
bro.
best.
No, I could tell.
Said that when you
I was like,
out.
that's not how that's supposed to look, bro.
You said, hey, I know you said that about my hair, but your form needs work.
I was in too deep, man.
If you're not in the barbershop and a guy isn't trying to sell you an empanada and your barber doesn't have a Corona in his hand,
bro,
and they go out for a smoke break, which is weed, by the way.
I'm just learning this in LA now, where I'm like, yo, that's what I should have done. I fucked up. You know what I mean?
Like a real barbershop.
I was like, damn,
my barber's Cape Verdean, so
that's cool too.
Yeah, they're strict. They don't fuck around. They take their time too, like 2 hours.
So you cut your hair?
Bro, no bullshit. My haircuts in LA would be like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Shorty here is like 25 minutes. I wouldn't even say 30.
You dirty.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, what am I paying for?
That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a 15, 20 minute just with the razor part at the end.
No, she was fucking my shit all the way up, bro.
Right.
That's what I get, though. That's what I get.
Yeah, bro.
It's like, man, you know what I mean? I was here to cheating on a barber meme. It's like, bro, I had long hair for eight years. I'm not hip to that.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, like I fucked up. I'm gonna be embarrassed going back to LA where I'm like, hey, man, like,
you just gotta go to another barber and get it fixed up.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, having long hair, you have to have at least have the lineup. Like, I haven't gone to the barbershop at all. This is partly why I wear the headband, so I don't get the bangs all in my eyes and shit.
Oh, yeah.
So like sometimes I'll just go to the barber and they'll cut the bangs off and they'll just line me up like a straight right here. But that shit's expensive, bro. It's like $40 like every time you go.
That shit adds up, bro.
Yeah,
that shit adds up.
Yeah, my hair goes fast.
Now you gotta get it all the time because imagine this. I leave the barber, not today, but I'm telling about in LA, I leave the barber, I'm like, yo, I'm looking good, you feel me? And then I get spoiled where it's like, yo, after a week or so, I'm like, yo, I'm looking all right, you feel me? And then after 2 weeks,
you need a 2 week.
I'm like, yo, I need to look good again, you feel me? I'm like, yo, I need that, you mean? Where it's like, bro, that shit starts to add up. I'm like, dude, if it was up to me, I'd be getting cut every week, you feel me?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, that's what
it's
but that's a utility at that point, bro.
It is, bro.
Right.
It is, though.
You know what I mean?
It gets expensive, especially if you tip your barber properly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, my electric don't be adding up like that. I'm like, yeah.
Like, damn, I spent $160 on the barber already. I need
the
line
line
up.
charging crazy, for the styles.
No, bro, it's a lot of work. If you got a good ass barber, there's people who pay like real fucking money for hair.
I feel you.
Bro. $500.
It's too bad Chris Cuts isn't here this week.
He was here last.
Yeah, I missed you guys last week.
Well, bro, you said I bleached my skin, dog. Yo, that was hilarious. I turned on the live, by the way, and then there's just a white guy, mad ginger, beard and all that, sitting in my usual seat here, and then all I hear is us saying, Sergio bleached his skin. I'm like, yo, that's such a good joke. Dallas, I don't know how long you worked on that joke before the show.
Oh my God.
But that was so good.
that was really good. That was really good.
He got me. He got me with that one. I was dying on that.
Yeah. That's funny.
Now we're about to get into the game of the week. You ready? You ready, Chase?
Are you?
I'm actually not hip, so we diving into this.
Yeah, we're gonna play some sports. We're gonna play some sports. We're actually gonna take a break and get set up for it, and then we'll introduce the game. All right.
All right.
All right. We'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah. Damn. What's up? Yeah. I'm with it.
All right. You ready, Chase?
Okay. Let's do it.
It's the first time we played this game. It's called Highly Skilled.
Okay.
All right. It's a skills challenge.
Yeah.
And you're gonna set the pace for everybody else who's gonna play it after this. All right. Here's what you gotta do.
What's that?
4 shots on hoops.
Okay.
3 beanbags in cornhole.
We doing cornhole? Oh, okay. All right. You crazy, but yeah.
3 balls in pool.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You set a timer?
Oh, yeah.
You got the clock? All right.
I'm racing.
Yeah.
What do you want
Okay.
to do?
Just do a stopwatch. Okay. I'll let you know when to go, all right?
And how many bags in this?
3.
Okay.
So you got 3 there. If you can sink them,
yeah.
But if you don't get 3, you got to run to the other side and come back this way.
I'm easily not about to run, but I got you though.
Well, you know,
I got you. Yeah. I'll hurry though.
This is the time.
All right. All right,
Alon, you ready with the clock?
Yes, sir.
Chase, you ready?
Damn. See, what makes me sick is someone's gonna sink 4 of these in a row, and it's not gonna be me.
Well,
but yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Here we are, man.
You understand the game, right?
I understand the game.
All right.
Yeah.
Ready?
2.
Set. Go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3.
Oh, come on. That would have been legendary. Okay. All right, fuck it.
Okay. It's a long.
I thought he was going to overhand it.
So
I'm sick.
Yeah, this is kind of.
Oh.
We're gonna switch this to 1.
Sick. This one's gonna be tough.
We're doing 1.
This is gonna be tough.
We're doing 1. 3 is crazy. Let's go, Chase.
Ooh.
Nah, garbage. Hold on. Nah.
Okay, you almost had that.
I don't know who be playing this, but it ain't me. You mean?
You got it. Maybe you need a little overhand touch.
You be doing overhand?
You do it. You do overhand. You do overhand.
Oh, I'm sick. Oh,
Dude.
that one gonna hurt.
Right
that
there.
one gonna hurt.
It's right there. Let's go, Chase.
Oh.
Right here.
Close. Close.
This gonna take me all day, now.
This is the hard part. Yeah.
Oh my God. Damn. Stronger start than my finish.
What if this takes like 20 minutes, dude? Oh. It's coming so close.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude.
And you said 3 would be crazy.
3 would be insane.
You should have said 3 on or 1 in.
That's a good call.
That could be cool.
But he's already had 3 on.
Yeah.
So we gotta keep it to 1 in. Just gotta sink.
You gotta keep 1 in.
Oh God.
Bruh.
You're right there, dude.
We gonna have to cut. We gonna have to skip this one. Yeah. Oh my God. Jerry, I was saying jack it off, man. You said what, merch?
Go off for merch.
Golden. Come on.
Right here.
Oh, you seen that one though.
Oh! It is. All right, pool ball.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
All right, pool table.
Oh my God. Now, when I'm playing pool, I gotta throw the jacket back on though, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Come on.
Where are we at now, man?
442.
Okay.
What is it?
Sink 3 balls. Get ready to hit stop.
Okay. Who just has to make 1 in?
3.
Oh, it's me. 3.
Gotta run 3.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, you killing me. Oh. Bro, if I scratch on camera, I'm sick. We cutting that out. We cutting that out, James.
There's 1.
Okay, I'll take it. Oh, garbage. That's all right. Oh, maybe not that garbage?
Right.
Oh, it ended up being garbage. All right. Fuck it.
Shot. That's a good shot.
Oh, come on, Dallas.
Nice.
Dallas.
So knocker.
Stop playing with me, Dallas.
Set up too.
Come on.
Get ready. This could be time. Oh.
Okay, I'll fumble that one. I'll fumble that one.
No, okay.
He's more of a shot guy. Notice.
One for the bank again.
All right. James, this where we speed it up in post? You feel me? Okay. Oh, flunked it. Flunked the dunk. All right. That's all right. I got this one, though, Dallas. I got you. Oh.
Okay.
The table's got this.
That's all right.
Half it.
There's no way.
James, if I miss this one, the whole stream getting cut off. I'm not even kidding.